Welcome reading two. I keep hearing do 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 do, and it's like that high in my head. It's like yeah, it's like over and over and over, and it's so beautiful. So I just want to say hello and welcome to your reading. Messages from spirit that you need to hear right now. I am just going to jump right in. When I looked down, it was 31. So angel number 31 is definitely an angel number for you guys. Okay, so this is the card that you chose, number 9, Phoenix. And it says, how's that for a happily ever after? And I love that they're like calling on, I feel like they're like calling on the spirits, they're calling on the gods, they're like in control. They're wearing their, let me get this back here. They're wearing, their crown, Ooh, sorry about that. Oh, it's okay though. You made it. You made it. Don't worry about what's going to happen. Okay, so I'm getting this now. I didn't understand because your card was like, how's that for happily ever after? I haven't seen your other cards. But when the camera just fell like that, I feel like you're just like, you can't believe it. You can't believe it. Because like maybe in the past something or someone made you feel like things were never going to happen, or maybe you've tried doing something over and over and over. There's a book there, so it could be maybe you tried writing a book or doing something artistic. Ooh, my throat chakra. Maybe it was something with your voice, and spirit is saying it's okay. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And hold on, I had the cards. They actually put them in a perfect order, and I just accidentally fucked them up. So I'm shutting my eyes right now, and I'm letting them shuffle until because there's an order that they're going to go in. I apologize, you guys. There's a really bizarre energy out there right now, and I'm doing my best just to go with the flow. Okay, here is the next card. So Phoenix to the Clover. Release your guilt. Okay, there's something going on here. Number 21. Now listen, they're having me like, they just asked me to put them all out at once. Okay, so I'm going to do my best here and we will put this story together. Okay, also labradorite was a really big deal. This labradorite wanted to come in. This is the raw side of the labradorite and this is the finished side. So we're going to get back to this, but they definitely wanted me to bring that in today. Okay, so the next card is gray. Endings are inevitable, number 37. Okay, thank you, Spirit. We're going to keep going with these messages. And then we have Lioness, number 13. Oh, interesting. Didn't we say 31 at the beginning? So 31 and 13. Also, when you add that together, that's number 4. And that's about balance, foundation. So this says, Lioness, you've earned all your stripes. And I love this, you can look at this as a mermaid tale, a fish tale, she's literally reading a book that says fairy tales. Also, I'm getting a really strong vibe of the divine feminine energy. I'm going to stop this right here. I want you to just take a look at it for a second. I'm actually going to move this out of the way. They wanted me to use natural light today. And this is my altar cloth. It's got all these different colors. I almost even want to pull this back. Like that was pretty and all, but I almost feel like I want to pull it all back. I want you to see it. I want you to see yourselves. And this is a kyanite. This is a blue-green kyanite. Really powerful if you can get yourself a blue-green kyanite. Okay. So I want to give you, if you're here, you're very powerful. I want to look at it too. So take your time. You can even pause it if you want to. And I'm going to go in just a little bit so we can really concentrate on the imagery. And go back here and here. And you know what? I think I'm actually going to light another candle right now. Because I feel like we really need to see this. Let me get this out of the way. Thank you, Spirit, for blessing us and watching over us. This hasn't been an easy time for any of us, has it? And I love that the key words are, we've got phoenix, clover, gray, and lioness. And what do those words mean to you? I mean, your first card, they could have put any card up, was how's that for happily ever after? But it's also the number 9. You know, like I feel like you're almost there and you're like, I've been channeling the spirits. I've been working with the spirits. I've been, but something happened too. Something happened between another divine feminine energy. This could be a mother, a parent figure. It could be a friend. It could be a family member. I don't feel like it's work. It feels more intimate. It feels, like the way they're sitting on that blanket, like these are good friends. Like, look at how their hands are almost touching each other. Do you see that? Do you see how their hands are almost touching each other, but they're not quite touching each other? And I feel like, and this could, well, I just saw this now. This could be an intimate relationship. And it's interesting because I feel like they just want to hone in on these 3 right now before we go back to the lioness. And it says endings are inevitable. Do you see that? I almost feel like this is you and this is you and you were like trying to, whatever, but maybe it wasn't working. And I feel like this is them and you're sailing off to the stars. Like maybe it's also, it could even be a relationship, but the person that you're dealing with, whether they may, put themselves forward as a quote unquote male, man, masculine, I feel like they're really inside they're feminine inside of them is like wants to reach out to you or wants to change or wants to be different, but just can't. Not at this time, and there's no permanence, I mean, even death is like, it's permanent in this world and these avatars, but like we go on somewhere else. So, release your guilt. Yeah. I feel like some of you are like, I done somebody wrong. Like I done somebody wrong. And also, I think it's interesting that when you look, because to me, the Phoenix always stands for, because Phoenix can stand for Scorpio, but it also can stand for a fire sign because Phoenix is rising out of the ashes, out of the fire. Like they didn't die. They may have gone down in flames, but they didn't fucking die, man. They came back. They came back. They came back. And also how interesting this says, how's that for happily ever after? And maybe it could even be for some of you that your happily ever after isn't good. They're like, so how is that happily ever after? Like you stayed with this person, but what if you said to them, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not there anymore. What if you told them with love and released? There's no guilt. When people make you feel guilty for moving on, it's like that's them not taking responsibility for their own lives and not taking any accountability for what they're doing in a situation. So, and I feel like here we are over here. It's like endings are inevitable. And by the way, I'm so sorry. I was really excited to do this reading because it started with like, how's that for happily ever after? However, good news is there's more cards here for you that we haven't pulled yet. But I feel like they want you to sit with this. And this might even be a 2-part reading, like maybe this aligns with you in some ways, but you're like, and like the next part of the reading will align more. But also, you've earned your stripes. Don't let anybody tell you that you haven't worked hard. Even like, look at the stripes of the smoke over here, Also, work with clover. Like research clover, spiritual meaning, like all that kind of stuff. Work with clover. And also, the gray, it's where it says, endings are inevitable. Gray is like, look at the gray area. Like there's always a gray area somewhere. But I feel like for this situation, it's like, I feel like, either one of you is like really, really connected to the earth right now and the other one's off on the fucking clouds and you're just like, I can't. they won't, whatever. Or it could be that like you realize like that you live in magic and wonderment and whatever, and this person refuses to go with you. They'll play witch with you, like they'll wear the outfit, they'll eat the food, they'll all that. But when you're like, I'm really ready to go, like I'm not fucking kidding, like let's move away, let's go here, let's go see let's go be, you're like, here's you, and you're in your love picnic and you're having a good fucking time. You're like, I love you, and they're like, I love you too. Like, let's go, let's go, let's release the guilt of the past, our families and friends. Let's go have our happily ever after, and then it's like, well, but if they're not gonna really do it, then an ending is inevitable. And you're here, you've earned all your stripes. And I also think it's really interesting is this almost feels like, if you look at it this way, this almost feels very like, if this was you throughout the whole story, let's look at it this way. This is you as a child. This is a happily ever after. You're reading all these fairy tales and stories, and you're like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm going to make that happen. I'm going to have the most beautiful happily ever after anybody's ever seen. And you're like, and I'm going to put it out into the universe, and I know the universe is going to work for me, and everything's going to be good. You're like, yeah. And then you fall in love, right? And you're like, oh man, I'm so in love with this person. I know I'm meant to do that, but they're like, burning fire, it's good. But also, look at them. They're just talking, they're hanging out. Yet there's a fucking fire. There's a raging fire back there. And maybe this is like your inner child feeling the smoke of it. And it's just like, I'm getting choked out. Like, this isn't working. I got to go on and sail on to like more beautiful skies. Look at the hearts, like the hearts in the sky, And this person's like, I want to go with you, but I just don't have the bravery. Well, if this is you as a child, then this is you falling in love. Then I feel like maybe this is you trying to change for somebody else. And they took off and now you're left and you're like, well, now what do I do? And you're in heartbreak. And Spirit's like, but look at you. You've earned your stripes. You've gone through all these different relationships, all these different stages of your life, from being your child, your natural redhead, and you're like, I'm going to be cool. I'm going to fucking dye my hair. And, or I want to feel cool, not be cool. But you know what I mean? Like, for whatever reason, everybody dyes their hair for different reasons, But like, I feel like maybe you like did this and then you kind of were like, I need to go back and find myself again and look at now. It's like the book was here. You went out into the world. It's interesting that they started with the fairy tale, if you looked at it that way, right? And then like ended with a fairy tale. But this time they're looking at it through a little more wiser eyes, right? They have glasses on. They've earned their stripes. They've been there. They've done that. They've played the mermaid. And they're like, I could be the mermaid when I want to. But I think for now I'm going to keep firmly on this ground. Also, I feel like this color blue keeps catching my eye. And it's like matching that. So, some rough waters, you've been through some rough waters. Let's see what the other cards say. Okay, so next one, feast. Slow down and celebrate yourself. Number 29. Okay, so I'm just going to go right on top of these because I feel like that's kind of how it's going to work. And then we have, oh my gosh, you guys, it is. Wait till you see this. You're going to shit. I didn't even realize it. It's exactly 4 and 4. Then we have spaceship. Don't be afraid to sing. Number 43. Oh, this could be, I feel like this could be in, oh my gosh. I'd be like, I'm like, girl. Okay. So I'm like, it's such a cool story. I'm like, and when I say that, I'm never ever disregarding, what your pain and suffering is. I'm just saying like, I'm just applauding how awesome you are and like how much you've been through, because I feel like this right here, if you go with them on top of each other, it's like, Phoenix, how's that for happily ever after? And I think maybe you had like a view of like what you thought happily ever after was, or what you thought it should be because your friends, your family, or what people told you it should be, and then once you kind of grew up and you earned your stripes, then you're like, well, look at me now. I'm a fucking queen and I don't really need anybody. And I'll color my hair any shade I want, anytime I want. Number 29 is also the number 11. And interesting that the Phoenix was number 9. And then this one, the Feast on top of it, is number 29. Like you've moved forward. And you went in leaps, right? You went from 9. If you add 9 and 2 together, that's 11. But also 29 in itself, And it could be a year for you guys too. Okay, and then the next one was the Clover, Release Your Guilt, and then you had Spaceship, Don't Be Afraid to Sing. So I feel like this one, when I was just got the story, was I feel like for some of you, interesting that we talked about the mermaid and the fin there. It's something with this. I feel like it's a Scorpio and it feels like a water sign. And I feel like maybe you used to sing with somebody, like you were in a band or a duet, or you used to work with somebody else, or you wanted to sing or something, and then it didn't work out. Or maybe you were signed and it never really took off. And so you're like, that's not what I meant to do. This sucks, whatever. And Spirit's like, whoa, 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 not necessarily, not necessarily. And now they're saying, but don't be afraid to sing. There's something there. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, there's more, there's more, there's more. All right, so number 44, which is the number 8, the storm. Every hurricane comes to an end. Okay, come on, you guys. We can't even make this up. Look at this. Endings are inevitable. So that one on top of that one, and that was 37, which was 10, and 37 is 10, right? And that's completion. But if you take off the 0, right, it's 1. It's starting all over again. So look at every hurricane comes to an end. Endings are inevitable. Something is ending for you, but that's okay. It's time for it to end. And it's time to stop running away from like who you are and your dreams and like you're beautiful. I feel like there's this inner diva in all of you that is like ready to come out and it's just like bursting, but something or someone changed that for you, or something changed the trajectory. So, oh, wow. Interesting. Okay. So your last card is number 45, Throne. Your potential is endless. And the fact that it is on 13, which is the number 4, and then 45, which is the number 9. Again, you've progressed and you've jumped leap years ahead, right? From that to the throne, your potential is endless. Here you are. You're look at this. I feel like I can't even. The lioness, you've earned all your stripes. So this is a happy ending. This is good. Good for you, you guys. But at the same time, these are messages from Spirit that I almost feel like they don't even want the rest of us. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is for you to like really go, oh, wow. Or, okay, always feel free to comment below because I love those. I love the stories. But I mean, come on. The second part is you start by yourself. And this could even be a business, you guys, or it could be a group. If you're somebody that loves to sing, or loves public speaking, or loves doing something with your voice, because obviously we're talking about singing, siren song, mermaids, and look up all that energy. Look up, mermaid spiritual meaning, things like that. If you want to go deeper into your reading, I don't always put the breadcrumbs below on these, kind of personal ones. That's for you. If you're meant to and you're drawn to, you will pause it, write it down. You know what I mean? If not, there's no guilt. But yeah, I feel like there's something there. It feels like the Supremes, like when the Supremes broke up. And it's interesting. If you were drawn to reading 1, you might want to go back and watch that because we spoke about that. And in Dreamgirls, the story is loosely based on the Supremes. And, Jennifer Hudson and, Beyonce, they have like this falling out. And it's supposed to be the same as like, Kelly Rowland and, Beyonce, but yet the same as like Diana Ross. It was like history's just like keeps repeating itself. So there could be something there. But if you look at it, those are gorgeous, beautiful, those goddesses they were all beautiful, gracious creatures. They would have easily, worked together. But you know what happened? They had other energies that pinned them against each other or said, you're better than this one. Go on your own. You don't need anybody. But maybe, and that's fine. And they did go solo and everything's great and everything happens the way it's supposed to. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, there's something with you. I feel like you do better when you're with other people. So whether it's in a music group or it's a writing group or whatever it is, maybe it's a business that you want to start on your own. And this is going to be you, by the time, you get through all of this like fear shit, right? Once you let all the fear go and realize that certain things have to come to an end, meaning like, I feel like the fear, look at how it's like the sirens are literally like looking up at you, like they're looking at you and you're running, you're holding the crown on your head because you're like, almost like you're afraid somebody's going to fucking steal your crown or steal your thunder or steal your voice or steal your gifts or whatever it is. I mean, it could be anything. but there are power in numbers. You know, maybe you're somebody who loves to do readings and but you want to do them in person. You don't want to do them on the phone, on the internet, whatever. You want to go back to like working with people, but you're like, how do I keep one place going? Well, what if you did something? I was thinking about this recently. I keep seeing these ads for like a chair in a hair salon. And I thought, oh my gosh, that would be perfect if you ran like a psychic place like that, like a hair salon, you know, like where they can work when they want to work, you know, kind of thing. And they just have to like give so much back to the house, because it's a lot of pressure for one person to open up their own storefront and, you know, make the business work on their own. But if you're working with other people and you know for sure like you're going to get some money, you know, then it's a lot easier to do that. But it's harder for some people to work on their own. Not everybody has the capability to work on their own. And that does not make you weak, reading two. That's actually showing your strength, because you're like, you look at, I want all of this, but if I want to have this lavish lifestyle and do what I want when I want and get my hair done and do all these things and, you know, travel the world, whatever it is that makes you happy, you know, it's like you realize that you need power in numbers. And interesting that we've got now really hone in on this. Interesting that we've got you in the middle, right? And you're the fucking witch. And you may be a fire sign, you know, Aries, Leo, Sag, or you have some heavy fire in your chart, or just you're really, you know, love fire, but most likely that's probably why. Archangel Michael's probably around you a lot, or you feel Archangel Michael around you. Fire is a protection. It literally is. Archangel Michael is the archangel of south, of fire, of protection. So I feel like this is you, and look at them in their crown running away. They're like, I don't, and look at, now you've got, it's almost, or okay, sorry. I'm getting so many downloads. Let me hold the phone. Hold the phone. So it could be that, look at, they have the crown, right? And then you've got the mermaid. But it's like, but if you put them all together, it's almost like I feel like, but this is all you. And you think you need all these other people, but you can do everything. You can do it all by yourself, if that feels right to you. I do feel like, and I know sometimes it feels like a mixed message, right? Because you're just like, well, which fucking one is it? But it's like, but that's your intuition, because this is a mass reading for a lot of people. But the fact that this one says slow down and celebrate yourself, it means you're burning the candle at both ends. So take a moment and, you know, just relax. You don't have to stress out. Everything's going to work out. Just relax. And you don't have to feel, because I feel like you've been running from storm to storm to storm. And it's interesting because 44 is also the number 8, and 8's in infinity. Wasn't this one, or was it the other reading that we had, an 8? I don't want to get what was this one? No. Anyway, it must have been the other reading. So yeah, if you were drawn to reading 1, check it out. But yeah, I feel like I'm going to leave it here. I feel like there's a lot. Let me see if Spirit wants to. Do you want to pull any more like clarifiers for this? Do we want to pull any clarifiers? Because I feel like for some of you, I almost feel like you're wanting to know a time frame, because maybe you're like, yes, or you're thinking about opening a business with somebody. Basically, all I'm getting is make sure that if you go into business with someone, that you are all of equal caliber. Each one of them is a badass. You can tell. I mean, you can just tell by looking at them. Each one of them is not playing. So, you know what I'm saying? So don't just take whatever. If you're going to do that, you better make sure that everybody's on the same level playing field. You don't want people who are going to, like, you know, suck off the teat, so to speak. I've been in that situation. I worked at restaurants, and I remember one time it was one of the only restaurants I ever did it. And I did it because everyone's like, oh, you should work there. They make like $1,000 a week. And I was just like, okay, dude, I'm in, you know? And the one thing that I noticed that was very disturbing was, that it was a pull. It was a tip pull. And we had people who literally would say like, why, I know you're going to do it. We know you're going to do it, or blah, blah, blah. And I was just a really fucking hard worker. And it made me sick, and it made me angry. And I didn't stay at that job long, because I'm like, why am I working so hard and other people aren't, and we're all getting the same amount of money? I was like, no, thank you. So just make sure that whomever you know, align yourself with, that they're as powerful as you are. And I just got Leo. So we were talking about fire. So either you're a Leo or you're dealing with a Leo. So if that gives you like more of a like a clarifier, if you needed like a little bit of a clarifier, I just heard Leo. And let's see if we have any other clarifiers, Spirit. Okay, these two just pulled out. This says never lose hope. Can you see it? I know it's like kind of, these are my little handmade cards. It's a sticker. It says never lose hope. And then it says good vibes only. So yeah, if you've got people who are not, you don't feel like they're in your corner or they don't have good energy, don't bring them into your flow, and definitely don't bring them into your business. You know, like that's a big deal. You don't want anybody fucking with your life. Like this is your livelihood, and you obviously are a hard worker, and every Leo I've ever known is a hard worker. And I know you have other things in your chart and whatever, but Leos are no joke. But there's also the other side of that is the you know, maybe I'll just come over here and float away for a minute. You know, I'll run away from this thing to that thing to that thing. And Spirit saying, no, take a breather, take a step, you know? And then we got be a star. Oh, okay. So for some of you, if you've been thinking about doing your own channel, oh my gosh, I just talked to a Leo about this the other day. How funny. Okay. So this may be for them. Okay. So be a star. Whatever you decide to do, be a star. And you have the voice, please don't doubt yourself. You are one of the most gifted singers, Spirit said. And it's not even about your voice. Like, look at Taylor Swift. She's never claimed to be like, you know, fucking Celine Dion. Oh, Celine, I can't. My heart. We love you, Celine. Spirit, thank you for blessing Celine, for giving us so much. And if you haven't heard about what's going on with Celine Dion, you can look that up on your own. But we send her love and healing energy. Blessed soul star family. But yeah, so it's time for you to stop thinking you don't have what it takes, and also stop trying to sound like somebody else or be like somebody else. You are here to look and sound and be completely different. And that's what Taylor says, right? Like she's a great writer. She's my birthday sister. It's like she's a great writer and she's a great storyteller, and I think she has a beautiful voice, but she's telling it in her own words. So tell your story in your own words. Tell other people's stories in your own words. So be a star, and remember the turtle says slow and steady wins the race, and work with turtle spirit medicine. All right, you guys, those are your messages. I hope they helped you in any way. Until next time, take really good care of yourselves and each other, and all of my information is in the description box below. Take care. Blessed be. Oh.